Thank you so much for having me, Extreme Hangouts. I'm really excited to dive into the ocean, climate, water, Indigenous nexus today. For those of you who don't know me, I'll give a brief introduction before diving into a story and some slides around 22 years of ocean stewardship. My name is Bodhi Patil. I'm a student at the University of British Columbia. I'm an OceanClimate Solutionist and someone that's been working to upscale Indigenous finance for ocean conservation. How do we fund communities on the front lines of climate change with solutions necessary to enact to expand marine protected areas, other effective conservation measures, and more? That's been done in collaboration with advocating for climate mitigation and RealZero. So diving right on in. We stand on the shoulders of our ancestors. And today I'd like to bring my ancestors into the room. My grandparents, who came from central Maharashtra in India, following the pathway of water for many generations. Water was always what connected us and brought life to everything, from the crops that my ancestors farmed to the ocean that keeps us all alive. My mom and dad have been my biggest advocates and champions since an early age. I've always loved the ocean. It's been an incredible life giver and the provider of everything in this world. As a kid, I would explore the intertidal area, fascinated by little crabs and other organisms, including the microscopic ones, realizing that the ocean is what produces our oxygen and provides for all of us. The ocean is life. And how I got started on a journey of ocean, environmental, and climate stewardship was through a $200 Jane Goodall Roots and Shoots grant. After going through depression from moving all around the world, feeling like a tree or a mangrove being uprooted and replanted all the time, not connected to my own ancestry, I realized that many young people around the world were too disconnected from nature and from the ocean. That's our eldest ancestor. And so after going through depression and having suicidal thoughts, I applied for a Jane Goodall Roots and Shoots grant to say, hey, we need other young people to have the tools for a strong body, calm mind, and vibrant spirit, the tools to be an ocean guardian. At that time, I was in 7th grade. Now I'm in my 4th year at the University of British Columbia, and since then I've built Inner Light, starting from that tiny bit of seed funding. All around the world, I've been building ocean community. With Ocean Uprise, now a community of 5,000 young ocean leaders from around the world, focused on everything from protecting natural carbon sinks, blue natural capital like the mangrove, seagrass, and salt marshes we all need, to taking action on plastic pollution and innovating the material revolution. Throughout this time, I've realized that community and the power of grassroots action, grassroots advocacy is everything. We need to ensure that young people from the base up are supported in their solutions. That's what I've been doing with my peers and advocates and mentors around the world, educating young people by the thousands on the High Seas Treaty, the Global Plastics Treaty, a deep sea mining ban, and how to build strong ocean community to win campaigns. I've even collaborated with Apple at my university, working on how technology can help accelerate the protection of whales and other incredible marine species that are vital to all of our lives. It's been really powerful to actually bring in the story of my ancestors, our tapuna, these turtles, these humpback whales that are on migratory pathways. Just like we are on migratory journeys as young people working to defend the planet, these animals have so much to teach us as they voyage across the ocean, sharing their own unique cultures and stories, sharing their own pain and suffering. We can learn so much from our underwater friends and share that because oceans and human health are directly linked. I'm going to further explore and study this nexus with a PhD after finishing my master's focused on Indigenous-led ocean conservation, especially understanding the nexus between oceans and human health when it comes to healthy reef systems or seaweed systems, and making sure that young stories, voices, and solutions are highlighted in that process. The ocean is an incredible life giver, yet the ocean is under threat. Just 8.3% of the world's ocean is designated as marine protected areas, with less than 3% being fully and effectively protected. Marine species populations have declined by 56% on average since 1970. What this is saying is that we must unite for the ocean. It's what brings us all together. The high seas, which cover 64% of the Earth's surface, are essential to protect. We have to ratify a high seas treaty, or BBNJ, by the UN Oceans Conference, and we won't achieve our 30 by 30 goals set out by the Kunming-Montreal Biodiversity Framework at COP15, expanded on at COP16, taken here at COP29 into full force unless we have ambitious action led by Indigenous peoples. Indigenous peoples' participation, science, knowledge systems, and solutions are critical to delivering on 30 by 30. My story with Indigenous stewardship has been learnt through many different cultures. The Tahitian culture, which reveres, like the Hawaiian culture, that the deep sea is where we all emerge from, this coral polyp, and that has come to shape the reefs and the ecosystems that provide us life and fisheries. Working with the Indigenous Wisdom Keepers delegation, a group of Indigenous leaders from all around the world that have focused on Indigenous rights, Earth rights, and representing the voice of the ocean in every space we go, in the workroom, in the boardroom, and in governance spaces like COP29. We are truly bringing the voices of our ancestors and Aboriginal leaders from Australia, Aotearoa New Zealand, across South America and North America, and Africa, all of our continents actually. We have an Arctic leader to really share that water unites us all. The water that we have in our bodies is connected to everything in the hydrological system, yet it's under threat, and we must unite and support Indigenous stewardship and a regeneration economy in order to rebuild this. We even got to share these messages with David Suzuki to 180 million people on CNN around the importance of Indigenous stewardship and how we must shift our economic systems from anthropocentric ways to ecocentric ways, ways in which we can live in harmony with nature, with many of our elders and Indigenous leaders that champion this important message. More than anything, despite the outsized impact Indigenous peoples have on conserving biodiversity, protecting lands, and coastal ecosystems, Indigenous people only receive less than 1% of climate finance. This is according to a report by the Rainforest Action Network, showing that less than 1% of finance was reached to Indigenous people and local communities from 2012 to 2020 in all of granting and finance processes. This is a big issue, and we must ensure finance flows to local communities in all the funds and solutions we develop. And that's why I'm really excited to announce that Inner Light will be focused on bridging this gap with Indigenous ocean conservation solutions and funds. This includes systems like co-management. I go to school on Musqueam, Squamish, and Tsleil-Waututh territory, and we just established a new marine protected area of $300 million of support run through an Indigenous sovereign organization, Coast Funds, to support a large marine protected area. This marine protected area will help us increase food sovereignty, increase Indigenous rights and reconciliation, have coastal guardian and watchman programs, and connect nations while funding their research and ocean data and education. The basis of co-management is ensuring that preserving marine and cultural resources is possible for future generations, and exploring the principles that we've had for many generations is integrated in this process. It's very exciting that the first tribally nominated sanctuary in the United States, the Chumash Heritage Marine National Sanctuary, has moved forwards. We're working on all sorts of marine sanctuaries by building policy and advocacy tools to share why it's so important young people and Indigenous people lead the way for marine protected areas, and why NGOs, IGOs, fiscal sponsors, and other organizations and philanthropies invest in supporting ocean conservation. One project I'm really excited to share is the Earth Elders, a force for Mother Earth, uniting over 52 biocultural regions with key mandates, being councils of elders, restoration of sacred sites, supporting the stewardship of Earth judiprints or the focus on Earth law, houses of original thought, and the University of Mother Earth initiative that upskills young leaders. We're focused on these 52 biocultural territories and coastal regions based on a prophecy that says we must rekindle our fundamental connection to nature. We are not separate from these natural processes, we are a part of it. The rivers and veins in our bodies are like the rivers on land that flow into the water. Every drop of our blood is similar in salinity, is similar in its biological connection with the water in our cells to the ocean itself. We are the ocean, and we are just a drop in the ocean. What's exciting is that these University of Mother Earth initiatives with Earth Elders, our Council of Stewards, will help to upskill young people with traditional ecological knowledge skills, create a platform for them to share it in an equitable way where they receive benefits, and support blue economies, blue and green job skills to build the future of the blue, green, or regenerative ocean economy. What it's going to do is empower the future guardians of this planet that need to be recognized for their value in stewarding Earth. And we're also going to launch the University of Mother Oceans initiative along the Peace Boat that will have Indigenous scientists and leaders focused on stewardship, sharing their solutions. Our Earth Elders are diverse in background. They come from all around the world, and they have unique skills to share. We must invest and revalue Indigenous stewardship because it is key to uniting for a healthy future around Mother Earth. What we are doing is creating a council of 52 elders to represent the major biocultural regions of this planet. These 52 biocultural or biologically and culturally significant territories is supporting a movements that's ocean roots or grassroots. It's helping to really change the system. Who's making the decisions for climate, nature, biodiversity, and finance? It should be the ones most connected biologically, physically to these systems, ancestrally to these places. We're working with others, and we invite additional partners to collaborate with the Earth Elders and with the Wisdom Keepers, because the spirit of humility and generosity is embedded in everything we do. The Wisdom Keepers delegation is united for the Earth, for the future, and we give all our relations as we work on Indigenous rights, the rights of nature, and the processes needed to steward natural ecosystems that keep our climate cool. As someone that started with a little tiny grant with mentors from all around the world, I really realized the power of mentorship. And what we do at these international spaces is call on all peoples, especially those with institutionalized power, wealth, and financial access, to share mentorship skills. And through Inner Light, I'm working with a number of partners, including the United Nations, Patagonia, the Wisdom Keepers delegation, Earth Elders, and a number other of constituencies to really build up platforms for young people to be mentored. So young people have the opportunity to have these skills and create the blue and green economy. Everything that this work is on Indigenous-led finance and ocean conservation, and everything that we must do is based on simple values. My ancestors and the ocean remind us of these values of regeneration, respect, and reciprocity. And working with Indigenous leaders as an ally myself is really important to embody these values in everything that we do, so we can truly be good stewards. Intergenerational collaboration, young people and adults working together, is essential for ocean and planetary regeneration. With the ocean economy being the fastest growing economy, the 7th largest economy in the world if it were a country, an economy that will be over $3 trillion by 2030, an economy that provides billions of people jobs and billions of primary sources of marine protein. We must ensure that the ocean is a central part, because ocean action is climate action. We must not forget this. And one of the key solutions we bring to the COP space is that the ocean is our greatest ally in the fight against climate change. So as we move forwards, as we swim with our ancestors, channel their voices, let's work actively to support stewardship of ocean systems, of coastal systems and reef environments, of the high seas and the deep sea. Because this beautiful ocean, this clear water, is being polluted and decimated at a rapid rate. And if we're truly going to get to a healthy and healed world, then we must work together. We must sail forwards and utilize the principles of the Hokulea and Polynesian Voyaging Society that teach us that if we paddle the va'a, the canoe, together, we can move forwards in a more effective way. Polynesian navigators sailed around the ocean, sailed around the world for thousands and thousands of years. They only used the stars, the sun, the seabirds, and the sky. And as we have a biocultural and indigenous resurgence, a resurgence to the stewardship of Mother Earth and ocean, let's remember that we already have most of the solutions that we're looking for, and that indigenous science, technology, and knowledge can help inform the future pathway forwards. Thank you very much for being here, and I encourage you all to take a stand as an ocean guardian and rise up, both to support indigenous ocean conservation and all the stewardship of our natural systems. Because when we look inwards and learn from within, then we're able to have maximal impact in our world. Let's continue building ocean communities from the ground up, advocating for systems change and policy, and make sure to follow along Interlight's work for more tangible ocean and climate action, coalition building with indigenous peoples, and policy advocacy. Together we shape the future of the regenerative blue economy, so let's go out there and get it. Thank you all, and have a great rest of your time at COP. Let's get this done.